another area of Death and Rebirth we'd like to focus on is just the manhwa craze that's happening right now. What is manhwa? Well, manga is Japanese comic books, essentially. You have a lot of anime that adapt manga, and that's where they get their story from. Manhwa is the South Korean version of this. So you have South Korean comics, webtoons, webcomics, and this is nothing new necessarily, but manhwa has as big of an audience as manga does, and just it doesn't necessarily have the same international audience. So Crunchyroll has kind of taken strides to bring manhwa to the people with their anime adaptations of shows like Tower of God, God of High School, and most recently Solo Leveling. This is a new show that's kind of become one of the biggest anime of 2024 so far, and it's really opening people's eyes to what manhwa can do. So what's so interesting about Solo Leveling is that it's set in a world where dungeons have kind of become all over the place. Dungeons appear in the world. There's like a hierarchy of hunters. You have A rank hunters that are at the top of the top, and then you have E rank hunters that are at the bottom. Basically, they go to these dungeons, they fight monsters, they get resources that help society, and then they also kind of make some money for themselves. So it's like this gig economy approach to dungeon hunting. And that itself isn't necessarily a new idea, but what Solo Leveling does is its main character, Sung Jin-woo, is an E rank hunter. He's kind of dead weight to his party. The anime sets up all these characters that seem like the leads, they seem like they're going to be really important people, only for all of them to get massacred in the first 2 episodes, and all you're left with is Sung Jin-woo. So he gets put on this unique path where he can kind of do solo missions to increase his power and potentially become like the best hunter there is. But what's so cool about Solo Leveling is it sets up these archetypes that you kind of expect how they're going to play out, only to completely subvert them and do new things with them and show you that there is more to this genre than you might expect. And a lot of that has to do with manhwa's differences from manga and how they can take a similar premise but use their culture to do something totally different with it. So Solo Leveling seems like it's going to be one of 2024's biggest anime, but at the same time, it will hopefully bring more attention to just manhwa in general. If you're liking Solo Leveling, check out what manhwa has to offer. Even if you're not watching Solo Leveling, just give this whole kind of culture a shot. You know, there are some live-action Netflix shows like Kingdom and Sweet Home. Those are based on manhwa, so there's more of a push for that, and it should be interesting to see if the success of Solo Leveling causes other anime studios to turn to manhwa for inspiration. We might be seeing a lot more of that rather than just the same adaptations of manga happening again and again. This is a whole new field that we can turn to for story, and it's an exciting rebirth of what's going on with these stories. So I think that's really cool, and we'll see what continues to come of it.